Hi, welcome again to our series Pax Europiana. It's a bit I believe very much in American peace, but I believe that we as Europeans should make a very strong contribution to our own security, to our own stability, to our own prosperity. That's why I called it Pax Europiana. And tonight I will talk about enlargement. How long does it take actually to join the European historically? And how rich should a country be to join the European Union? And that's very important. Tomorrow is the summit, the Zagreb summit, digital in that sense. But for the Croatian presidency, our newest member in the European Union, Croatia, now having the first time the presidency and having a big focus on enlargement, obviously is very strongly interested in the new members and already a NATO member. You know, that's very important in my view, to have first NATO membership and then EU membership. Croatia, a very good example for that logic. And actually all of the new members from Eastern Europe are first NATO members and then EU members. Only it was with Cyprus and Malta an exemption. There are a little bit specific cases, but all from the 2004, 7, 13 membership category. They have been first in NATO, and for a reason. It's basically connected to the question that you also need to reform your post-communist security sector, and EU has no tools in it. You have to reform your military, your security sector, your intelligence sector, but also your civil-military relationship. And especially in a country like Serbia, by the way, it's very important after all the things that happened in the 90s to reform that first with the NATO process and then to join the EU. But I would like to talk about the timelines and the prosperity level now. This is very important. Yeah? I say, of course, I think some of you know that already, 3 NATO members, Albania, Montenegro, Macedonia, in the EU in this mandate, and 3 Balkan countries with more issues, Kosovo, Bosnia, Serbia in the next mandate, and also Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia, the free parts, not the occupied parts, but free Moldova, free Ukraine and free Georgia as well by 29. Why I say this and why this is not fast, I will explain now in detail. Yeah? Why? Please. Now let's go for all the new members of the last years since the Greek enlargement. Yeah? The Greek junta fell in 1974. Greece joined in 81. That's 7 years. 7. Spain, Franco died in 75. Sorry, I see on the PowerPoint presentation at the same. 75, Franco died. Spain joined in 86. That's 11 years from the end of the dictatorship to membership of the European Union. The revolution in Portugal, 74. Portugal joined also in 86. That's 12 years. The Cold War ended in 89 to 91. The neutrals joined in 95. Yeah? Yes, you want to calculate from 1990, let's say, to 95, that's 5 years. If you say 89, it's 6 years. But you know, very fast. Yeah? The Eastern Germany, of course, that's also a membership in a sense. Yeah? It joined Germany and the EU. It came in 1 year. Okay, that's maybe a very special example. But let's go then to the Central European countries. Cold War ended in 89. They were all members in the Visegrad countries in 2004. So let's logically 15 years. I repeat, 15. 1, 5. Soviet Union ended in 91. The Baltics joined in 2004 as well. That's 13 years. The end of Yugoslavia and the independence of Slovenia, and then the membership in 2004, that's as well 13 years, 1, 3. The second revolution in Romania, Bulgaria, I would name this as the real democratic European revolution. They had a very messed first one in the end, and then in 96, yeah, they really transformed and opened and started to liberalize and Europeanize. So that's 11 years to 2007 when they joined. The Croatian Unity War ended in 95 and Croatia joined in 2013. So it's 18 years. No, that's a bit longer, but okay, it was also a more complicated reality in Croatia with the war and everything. So it's 18 years. Now, when do we call the point of start in the Balkans? I say the Balkan is at peace since 2000, 99 the Balkan War, the Balkan Liberation War, and then 2000 is the year where Kosovo started to reconstruct. Albania was also in very difficult affected, and also Macedonia. There was still some war, Ohrid agreement, you might remember. So let's say 2000 is really the point. Also in Serbia, 2000 was the revolution, the democratic revolution of the 5th of October. So 2000 as an average for all 6 countries. And from then on, you can really talk about consistent Europeanization, reconstruction, development of democracies. So that's now 20 years, and all 6 are not in the European Union. So I repeat, 20 years no result, and the others have also been between 1 year, 5 years, most of them between 15 years and 18 years in the case of Croatia. So when I say now that Montenegro, maybe you can say 2006, the independence, and then I say 2023, the full membership, and that's my argument, 2022, 2023, end of negotiations 2022, then 2023, the ratification process. Maybe it will take until the 1st of May, that's always the Unity Day, until in 2024. But let's say this, I now took 23 from independence, that would be 17 years, And if you add up from 2000 on, it's 23 years, obviously, And this is exactly what it takes for Albania, from 2000 to 2023, 23 years, So Macedonia is already, let's say, the Ohrid agreement, the real start of the settlement of peace, it's 22 years. Many in Macedonia will say 92 is the real start. But okay, let's keep with 22 years in theory when they join in this mandate. So then Bosnia, actually, in many respects, it's 95 the date. So we are already talking about, let's say 34 years, if I calculate correctly, since Dayton. And then Serbia, when you say 5th of October 2000 is the start of the democratic revolution, and then 29 as membership, it's 29 years, When you go then to Moldova, which had basically since 92 normal development in many senses, normal in respect of Eastern Europe, which we have rejected and left out, So you have basically then when Moldova would join in 2029, which sadly not many people in Europe want, unfortunately, from the European elite. We talk about 37 years, In Georgia, we talk, when we say end of the war with 2008, and then we say 29, it's 21 years, And Ukraine, when you see 2014 as the change of Europe towards Europe and the European Revolution, the Euromaidan, so it's 15 years like in Poland. So if anybody tells me my timeline is unrealistic of 15 years for Ukraine, I say, we did it in Poland, it's totally possible for Ukraine. When somebody says, my timeline for Albania is not realistic, then I say, that's really, we are much too late, in fact. We should have all these countries already in the European Union with the exemption, at least the NATO members, but it took more time for NATO membership for Montenegro and for Macedonia. So my timeline is absolutely realistic, and it's absolutely feasible to do it exactly like that. And there is no way we are late. We are actually totally on time and correct with the assessment. 3 NATO members in, and the other 6 countries in the next mandate. So that's about the timeline. Then I would like to talk about the prosperity level, because then let's go to the World Bank data, which is the relevant one, and let's analyze a little bit the prosperity level we have with the European Union, and at which level should you join, and which prosperity level should you join. Let's go back to our latest important member and also the poorest member. That's Bulgaria, a very big success story of transformation. Bulgaria was in the year 2007, that I say everything correct, at $6,000 GDP net per capita. That's the most important benchmark. 6,000. So 6,000, and now this is exactly where Macedonia is at the moment. Montenegro actually is already at 8,800 and is very close to the 9,200 of Bulgaria. So Montenegro not being in the EU still hoping for this mandate, and some say it's unrealistic, yeah, but it's already at a prosperity level just, to be $400 below per capita of Bulgaria, which is in the European Union. So, okay, some crazy people will say it was wrong to have Bulgaria and but it was not wrong. We have to take the countries in, we have to reform them inside, we have to transform. It's not so easy to increase prosperity, and outside there is no way to achieve it. The European Union is also moving up, yeah? And then when we have this slower trajectory outside, yeah, and the faster, ambitious project of unification inside, yeah, then zoom, it's never happening. The more we wait, the worse the situation gets. It's totally ridiculous to postpone. It's absolutely wrong and counterproductive. Inside, as we have seen in Romania and Bulgaria, it's not easy. We need more mechanisms, more instruments, more tools. I have made a number of videos already on that one, but it's working very well. Bulgaria is working, Montenegro will work very well, and also Macedonia and Albania. Macedonia is exactly at the prosperity level Bulgaria was in 2007 when it joined, so absolutely. Albania is at 5,200, that's $800 below that level. Albania has the specific problem of the currency. It hasn't really pegged its Albanian leg to the euro, and it also had a really difficult years now with a complicated government, which I think has made not a lot of reforms, increased the taxes, was bad to SMEs, and has not really attracted a lot of foreign direct investment. With the speed of the previous government, we would be already much above Macedonia. But nevertheless, good, that's always the political risk of these countries. But what is important, if Albania adopts the euro now, or at least pegs to the euro, and so bonds its currency fully to the European currency system, then it can also join in this mandate. And then all three NATO members are very much clear in NATO, in euro, in the EU, in this mandate. And this is absolutely justified from economics, and from security, from strategy, and from the feeling that we as Europe, after we have lost the UK, then we have 3 more countries. We show the attractiveness, we show our capability to act, to unite, to be a magnet, and also to clarify strategic uncertainty is wrong. So this is very important for the European Union to go to G7, G20. Mr. Michel, Ursula von der Leyen, and go to the global meetings and say, by the way, we have 3 new members, we are alive and kicking. We manage Corona, that we will do as well. We will enlarge the Eurozone, we will enlarge the EU, we will work closely with our allies, and we will confront our enemies. And that's what the EU30 should be about. That's the line for the next years I propose. And please, let's now speed up and end this kind of French protectionist and anti-Eastern European nonsense and all these cultural prejudices against the Balkans and Eastern Europe. They are totally nonsense and absolutely wrong. Shame on anybody who thinks like that. Yeah? These are great people. They need, of course, the security prosperity framework of the European Union, but there will be a good contribution. And it will work much better inside united, open, and serious and strong European Union of 30 members. Thanks a lot.